a secret weapon I hadn't told you about.
What's that?
What do you think?
Hope you don't get shot.
This is Southeast Alaska. It's rugged and technical country, and it's as hard to navigate as any place that I've hunted in North America.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
These mountains are raw, roadless, and intimidating. I'm here because there's a critter in the most extreme terrain pockets, aptly named the mountain goat, and they're one of the toughest animals on the continent to hunt with a bow. Getting here is no small feat, but it's nothing compared to what it takes to succeed once you're here. I'm Clay Newcomb, and I'm out here with my good friend and guide, David Bennett. I've done a lot to physically prepare for this hunt, and I think I'm mentally prepared, but I've never done this before. And there was really no way to train for how things would go down.
Oh, we're toast.
Cloaked in clouds for a large percentage of the year, this is the most unforgiving and spectacular place I've ever hunted in. But its grandeur is shadowed by an ominous loneliness, reinforcing that I'm just a visitor here.
Man, this is why this hunt intimidated me so much. This is sketchy stuff.
$55.
39.
39.
I should have brought that other book. I had 2 books that thick. I considered splitting them in half. Then I just hid one in David's pack. It's August the 9th, and we're about to fly out. Gonna be out for 8 days. Just packed up the beaver, and got about a 30-minute flight out to where we're going. Weather's good right now, but it's supposed to rain a ton. We'll see. Every time I sit in any kind of a bush plane, I look the pilot square in the eyes, just to confirm to myself that I'm willing to trust this person with my life. But this guy was legit. And I also knew that David, a veteran Alaskan bow hunter and guide, was legit too. We flew across the bay to an alpine lake, only accessible by float plane, in an area known to hold goats. Aerial views of big terrain like this make me see that my perception of my own significance is exaggerated.
Spin it, baby. Get the tail in. You good?
Yeah.
Man, this place is unparalleled for beauty, no doubt.
On the slope up there.
Oh, how close?
You see those, the 2 big snow patches up at the highest point?
Yeah.
Just to the right of the right snow patch?
Wow, that's exciting. How hard is it to get there?
I don't think I can get there.
Really?
I don't know.
Now, where are we going to try to get to today?
Just up on this ridge up here. From up here, we'll be able to glass down on this knob here. The main thing I want to do this evening is go up there and glass this. Because this, if there's a billy over here, this is easy duty here.
Really, this is like prime country for where we would hope one would be.
Was
right here.
It would be pretty simple. And if we see one there, then we got to come back down here, hop in the raft, and take it over
Across the lake.
over to this side over here.
Part of the reason that I wanted to do this hunt was probably because I'm so intimidated by it, really. Just the heights. Climbing down this rocky stuff. And I know every situation can be different in terms of like
the technical climbing these mountains, but it's like not something I'm super comfortable with.
We're not going to be going up and down cliff faces.
Yeah.
At least I hope not.
Yeah. It's our water hole.
Yeah.
So usually there's a creek that runs down, like running water right here.
Yeah, the next draw over. But yeah, usually it's pretty wet.
It's been hot and dry here for the last 10 days. Water's rarely a problem, but it could be an issue. You can see so well here, it seems like navigation wouldn't be hard, but the technical terrain requires using exact routes. And though the weather is nice today, often it's fogged over for days at a time.
If you don't come down right here, you get all screwed up.
I'm gonna mark this on the Onyx. You don't use any kind of GPS or tracker?
That doesn't take any battery power.
Yeah. Navigating this stuff is tricky. David knows the route up, but you just can't fall off of this mountain anywhere and get to that lake. I mean, you can always see the lake. You know where you're at. But there's 1,000 different ways to get down. You'll get cliffed out. So David's marking with some rocks and I'm marking with some Onyx. Are you serious?
On the knob walking on the snow.
Really?
Yeah, set up a spot and scope here. We'll be here for a bit.
Okay.
Let's see what he is.
Excellent. He's definitely by himself.
Yeah, that's a Billy.
How can you tell this is his horn structure?
Yeah. You're looking more at the horns. A nanny will be a lot thinner, and then she comes up and then she does a little hook right at the top. Billy,
yeah, it's
Billy's
kind of like
yeah,
that.
Billy's nice and curved.
Mm-hmm. First impressions, what do you think? I mean, is he
He's a shooter.
he's a shooter? Now, David, that's one of the biggest goats I've ever seen in my life. That makes about the 4th one I've seen in my life. Well, would it make sense to go up there, glass, and then I just hate to lose everything we got, especially if we could get up there and maybe there's one on our mountain.
Yeah. I think we just stick with the plan. Get up here, do some glassing this evening.
Okay. I like that. I do. This is our first day. We flew today, so we can't hunt. We climbed about 1,500 feet, set up our camp. This rain set in. Probably just gonna hunker down and just hope that the rain doesn't set in for a week. This country's real vulnerable to getting socked in. That's the hardest part of this particular spot. Have you been on hunts, David, where it just did this the entire time?
I wouldn't say the entire time, but I've had some hunts that are pretty much wiped out because of the weather, yeah.
So it can happen.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to make the most of the opportunity you get when you get it. Like, if it clears out tomorrow, we try and get something done in one day, which is kind of a tall order.
Yeah.
This is always the hardest part for me for guiding goat hunts. Is
Yeah.
waiting on the weather.
Yeah.
you book a hunt a year and a half out. I give you a week to come. No control over what that week's like.
It's about noon on the first day. It's gotten real bright. David thinks it might burn off. So we're gonna hike up the ridge and just kind of position ourselves where if it does burn off, we'll be able to go. We're pretty sure there's 3 good goats just right over here. Like when you range them, they're like 1,200 yards away, but it would take several hours to get to them. So we just cut off a little of the distance, so we're heading up.
Weather is the ultimate factor on a mountain goat hunt, and it's hard to describe the mental state that it takes to sit all day with 50 yards of visibility and no guarantee tomorrow won't be the same. We've moved positions a couple of times and crossed one of these giant snowfields for the first time, which on some of them, if you start sliding and you can't stop, you're pretty much a goner. It was one of the most difficult parts of the trip for me. Our optimism for the weather clearing today was unfounded. It never cleared up, but the rain made finding water a non-issue. We ended the first day of hunting humbled but optimistic. The next morning, we woke up to clear skies and found ourselves above the clouds. We moved across the head of a huge canyon, trying to lay eyes on some of the goats we saw the first day. We made 2 dead-end climbs that ended with us getting cliffed out. But the morning was spectacular, but we couldn't seem to find a goat.
I gotta go back down.
Man, this is why this hunt intimidated me so much. This is sketchy stuff. Got a secret weapon I hadn't told you about.
What's that? Hope you don't get shot. It's pretty intimidating. You're golden. You just gotta find something to stalk.
David, when you graduated high school, tell me about your trapping trip.
Well, I did a semester of college and didn't like that. Tried it out, didn't like it. So the next winter I had off. So I decided to go trapping for the winter. Had a commercial fisherman drop me off in a bay middle of November, end of November, and went back to Petersburg about mid-February.
That's pretty hardcore, man.
It was fun. Right out of high school, I realized I didn't want a further education.
You didn't want a real job?
Yeah.
And so that's what you've done your whole life is trap. You trap every winter. Wolf
every
trapper, trapping.
Yeah, marten, mink, wolverine, wolf.
And then you fish for salmon and Dungeness crab.
Right now, all I do is fish for Dungeness crab, but I've fished for halibut, black cod, all the salmon species, all the crab species.
And then you guide. And your goats, Sitka blacktail, and spring black bears.
Black bears and wolves. Yeah.
Man, David, there's nobody I'd feel more comfortable in a place like this. It's so spectacular when the weather's nice, but man, when the weather is not nice, this is not the place you want to be.
We spent all day yesterday in the tent.
It's so brutal, but so incredible.
Well, as long as you're prepared for it, though. If you got good equipment and good clothes.
You can tell somebody about this all day, but you can't really.
No,
I mean, I was as prepared, I think, as a guy could be. I mean, just mentally prepared. I was prepared, but I was not prepared.
Hey, even when you go home, you'll show people pictures, but the pictures don't do it justice.
Yeah.
Right when we started feeling good, the clouds rolled back in.
We've been up on this highest peak, waiting out these clouds for a couple hours. It's still fogged in. And the bad thing is this is the best weather day we have. I mean, just right up above us is blue sky, but all this is just fogged in. We're gonna just make a move down here. Some of these lower elevations, there's no fog. We're gonna try to drop a little bit lower. They've been laying here since the rain. This was fun.
That's
Last night.
that spot there is pretty fresh. You ever get the feeling that they're close? So many nooks and crannies we can't see it.
David's intuition was correct. We finally see a goat.
Definitely a Billy. I think he's that. I mean, it could be a completely different one, but if he was one of those three, he's the smallest one of those three.
This is the first Billy that we've seen today. 2 days ago we saw Billies up there. The day we flew, we couldn't hunt. We went looking for them today. You know, it's 2:30, 3 o'clock, and we see them way up at the top. Our camp's way over there, so we gotta cross right in front of him to get back to our camp.
It's not a dink. We were on top of where that snow skyline.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where we were. You could just continue over, get in them rocks.
No, just cutting across. I know it's like an hour and a half walk, but can we not just cut low? I mean, I think if we were down much lower, he wouldn't be able to see over the crest of that little hump. Because he's kind of, you can't even see his full body, you know?
Yeah.
Like if we were down 30 feet more.
Well, we can't go down too far. We got to climb up to get the snow to go across. But yeah, I mean, we got to go that way anyways.
We've got a goat, a Billy up on the mountain watching us. We're gonna have to cross about 800 yards probably below him. And he already sees us. So we're just gonna try to play our decoy game.
Using a decoy suit to get into bow range of goats is a proven strategy. When they see white, they just automatically think it's another goat. We spray painted this leafy suit white, and aside from the smell, the texture makes it really look like a goat. I had the hat made just to increase the realism, and the horns may have been a bit of an overkill, but I like them. Earlier David mentioned safety, but in a spot this remote, with the lake being the only access point, it's really not an issue.
I made it right below him. Like he was watching us the whole time, but he bedded back down. So the white suit worked. Now I'm gonna try to get to that rock, go up above him. It's still at least an hour walk. David just flagged at me that goat spooked. So, goat stalk was busted. Well, a lot of work, but at least it was back towards camp.
Day 2 ends with one botched stalk and a cold night. Day 3 is totally wiped out again from weather. I sat in my tent most of the day, wishing I had brought more than one book. In the afternoon, we got a few glimpses of the mountains, but they closed as quickly as they opened.
It's day 4. We've spent 2 or 3 days basically socked in. We woke up this morning to pretty good weather, except we were hoping to be able to find a Billy before we head out.
There's 3 Billies up on this ridge, most likely on the other side now. I think we'll head across, drop in that saddle and go up on top and try and poke around. I hate to just run around blind, but we're losing days and we need to get something done.
We found the goats, and they're all the way over there. A couple miles across the mountain. I think we've counted 29 goats. Big nanny and kid group. Hard to say if there's any billies in there, but they're swarming like bees, man.
Those goats were on a completely different mountain and completely unreachable. We continue to head towards that big saddle when we spot a lone bedded goat, but fog is still rolling in and out.
As soon as this fog covers, we gotta go because it's gonna open back up, but we need to at least get down to this bench, get behind some rocks.
We were coming down this snowbank and spotted a bedded goat about probably 600 yards away, wide open. Well, he's just looking this way and he's just right there.
You might want your water with you though, I don't know. But I'd put your suit on.
We move in quick and super close to the goat because of the cover of the fog, and I head in for the final leg of the stalk.
That goat's still bedded right where it was.
I'm definitely above him. If he's still there, the wind's been swirling, but it's good up on top.
I'm able to stay hidden by using terrain, and I get within 70 yards of the bedded goat, which I think is a billy, but the fog has made it hard to judge. With nothing in between us, I've now got to completely rely on the decoy suit, and in the wide open, I slowly close the distance to 45 yards on the lone goat. The suit worked flawlessly. The goat would cut its eyes towards me, but it never spooked.
This is where the goat was. I was right on that little ridge right there. The shot opportunity was great. I was just probably low from where I was aiming. I was aiming just kind of center mass on this bedded goat. I think we'll get him.
The goat ran 30 yards and bedded down on a patch of snow. Then I moved in for a follow-up shot.
Can we get to the goat? It looked like we'd have to go a little lower. Or are we low now?
I think we can get right to it.
It's right on the edge. If it goes over that edge, I don't know that we can get to it.
It's a nanny. I didn't know it when I shot it, but it's perfectly legal to shoot a nanny.
It's a perfectly legal harvest. We watched that goat for probably a couple hours. It obviously didn't have a kid with it.
You made a hell of a stalk.
Well, I just hope we can get down to it. That's my biggest worry.
Yeah, it was like right there.
Oh, so it fell all the way down then.
Well,
Oh,
maybe.
we're toast.
I see the goat. I'm like 15 feet from it. It's lodged up under this ice. And it's on a chute that drops off 800 feet. We're really struggling to figure out how to get it. Dirt, just don't do it if you feel any reservation.
Well, I got a reservation.
Well, then
But it's right there. I'm just gonna ease down.
the goat slid about 150 feet and got lodged under a huge snowbank. I was literally shaking in fear as I climbed down just to where I could see the goat, knowing that whatever I went down, I would have to climb back up. And what's hard to visually comprehend is that just feet below the goat is an 800-foot drop, making retrieval unforgiving and almost impossible. This was the nightmare that I had dreamed about. But that's exactly where legendary MeatEater cameraman Garrett Dirt Myth Smith came into play. He is a veteran rock climber and just a woolly, gritty dude. He volunteered to shimmy down the slick rock face and tie off the goat with a little rope we had. The retrieval took 2 hours, but we finally pulled the goat up on the small ledge that I was on. It was honestly the most stressful and dangerous thing that I've been a part of in a wild place. But Dirt knew that he could do it safely.
That's 10 for 10, buddy. 10 for 10.
Woo!
Woo! Nice, David.
Nice job, guys.
Yes. Dirt Myth behind the camera recovered this goat. I wouldn't have got it. He belayed down with a rope and got under that ice. I mean, I couldn't have done it. His skill and turn the camera to you, Dirt.
Teamwork. Don't listen to him.
Man, holy cow. Most stressful thing I've ever done in my life. Like, for real.
We got her, though. A crazy country, man. But you never get sick of it, I'd imagine.
I'm sick of it.
Like today. I just soon do something different. When they end up in these spots, it's pretty screwed up.
These animals, they're just, where they live is just incredible. I really hadn't had a chance to enjoy this. It's been so stressful getting it off. Hat tip to the dang mountain goat. What a beast.
Dirt would just put that bag in his teeth and crawl up there.
Have you ever had retrieves that sketchy, David?
Yeah. I've had retrieves that have taken 2 days.
Really?
Yeah.
And you still do this?
I'm beginning to second guess
Starting to wear on you?
Yeah.
Oh. Out of the woods. That was more than I bargained for. Congrats, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, David. I wouldn't have done it with anybody but you, for real.
It took me hours to calm my nerves after the retrieval. I'd killed the goat on day 4, and on the morning of day 5, we packed up camp and headed down to the lake. And for the first time, I was confronted with the joy of success. And in celebration, we decided to cook up some goat meat as we waited on the beaver.
It's chewy, but it's really good. I mean, really good.
It's really good. This hunt was honestly way harder than I thought it was going to be. This was the first like really intense mountain hunt that I've done, and I wanted to do it with a bow, really just to see if I could do it.
Well, you did it. You did good too.
The terrain, just incredible beauty, but incredibly harsh. Every step you took from the time you left this lake was you were calculating where you were going to step, where you were going to go. There was nothing easy. If I never have to do a recovery like that again in my life, I'll be happy. That's enough for me, man.
Yeah, me too.
As we waited on the beaver float plane, I was ecstatic that we were carrying out a goat, but any pride in the accomplishment was drowned out by the noise of the sketchy recovery. It bothered me, and it might sound kind of soft, but being on that cliff face with dirt down there doing what I could not do, it impacted me, and I'm still interpreting the ripple. To this day, months after the hunt, when I look at those goat horns, I get a little butterfly in my stomach, and I can see that gray fog and feel that Alaskan wind. And it's not a pleasant feeling. I'm not sure if it will ever go away. But what I also know won't go away is my ultimate respect for the mountain goat and the places they live. They truly live in the most rugged places in North America. And having taken this animal, I can truly say that they're one of the continent's most incredible beasts.